Hi everyone, it's Dr. Reverend Mariam. You can call me Bishop Mariam or Phoenix from the Awakening of Phoenix, Living with Disability Healing LLC, Al Capella Awakening, and Dinner Time to Heal. Today, we're going to do something with my hair. We're going to make a delicious meal that will help you through seasonal affective disorder. I have seasonal affective disorder and get very depressed around this time of year. You can watch my other video all about seasonal affective disorder and what you can do about it. If you have agoraphobia like me, that video will be very helpful. But I did want to throw out something out there that I didn't put on the video, which was, listen, if you have agoraphobia and you're suffering through seasonal affective disorder, reach out to somebody. You do not have to go it alone. You don't. And in fact, you shouldn't. Reach out to someone, check on them, ask them to check on you too. Okay? Get outside, take your garbage out, let the sun hit you when it comes out. Even if it's an overcast day, there's still sun. Let it come down, let it seep into your skin, and let your liver synthesize and turn it into vitamin D so that your mood can be more uplifted and it won't be such a heavy burden. But the hair treatment that I have is because of serious neglect. Now, you guys know I'm always neglectful of my hair because of my disability, plural, disabilities, mental and physical. I have congestive heart failure. So I get depressed. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. The sun is not coming out like it should. So my melatonin is increased and it's hard. It's hard. I'm already diagnosed PTSD. I have depression. I have anxiety. I have agoraphobia. So it's difficult. Before Christmas, I went into the hospital and spent Christmas in the hospital. When I came back, I caught the flu. Oh my goodness, I caught the flu and I have the neighbors from literal HE double hockey sticks. Not getting very much sleep at all, you guys. I've had absolutely no energy. So my hair is completely neglected. You have to see this, okay? This is the worst that it's been. Oh my gosh. This is the worst that it's ever been. So, as you can see, my hair is a disaster area. I don't even want anybody to see it. It's so embarrassing. So, I've been wearing this over it. I've had no energy, but today I've got energy. So, I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to make something yummy. But you guys, I have the perfect moisture treatment for neglected hair. You guys, this is intense moisture. I am 45% Nigerian, and this remedy came from Nigeria, from my peeps. So I want to share it with you guys because it is very intense. And if you haven't had a protein treatment, start with that. And then the next following week, try this. But I haven't had a protein treatment, but I'm okay. I know my hair. I know it's in its natural state now. So I want to share this with you guys. You guys are going to thank me. Your hair is going to thank me. It's so easy. And there'll be plenty left over that you can freeze and use again. Let's go. So we're here in my kitchen, and I'm going to show you guys how to make the most simplest hair remedy for really dry, neglected hair. I'm talking really neglected. You feel it crunchy, and it's just so dry and brittle you think it's going to fall off. In fact, you probably are getting a whole bunch of shedding. This remedy is Nigerian, and it is so old. It has been working for a very long time on type 4 hair. It's old school. It's so old school. It's new to you. And you need 2 ingredients. That's it. You can, of course, put more things in here, guys, but simplicity has many complexities. Okay? And I'm going to prove it to you with this. All you need is some heavy whipping cream. Heavy whipping cream. It has to be heavy whipping cream. Can't be half and half. Okay. It can't be a creamer. It can't have all of that, stuff, vanilla and all that stuff in it. You can put vanilla extract in there if you'd like. I've used vanilla extract. I've used frankincense. I've used myrrh. I've used lemongrass extract, and I've used peppermint and rosemary. All work great, but for the purposes of keeping it simple, heavy whipping cream and either extra virgin olive oil or coconut oil, okay? And this is the most easiest routine. There'll be plenty left over for another time. All you have to do is freeze it. Let's go. But you want to go ahead and pour almost all of it in there until you come up to 1 cup. I'm going to take my olive oil, okay, and literally 1.5 tablespoons of olive oil. My friends, that is it. That is all you need to do. Just going to pulse it a little bit first and then run it. And when we run it, it's going to get ran about 3 or 4 times. I'll try to do it real time so you can see exactly how long it's going to take you. All right, now we're going to go ahead and go for it.
You can actually begin to see it separate, thicken up, and turn into the consistency that we want. The water's going to get separated, and it's going to start to get a little clumpy. There, see? It's hardly even moving. It's just kind of sticking to the sides. That's how you know it's working and that you've put in the proper amount of oil.
Okay, that was the first cycle. You're going to need to do this about 3 or 4 more times, but I want you to see what it looks like so you can see. That's more whipped than anything else. So what I want is more of a butter consistency. All right, just going to put the top on here and run it through one more time. Now it's starting to turn into exactly what we want. So take a look at this now. Now it's starting to break up some. I don't know if you can see that. We want it to be more smooth. So also, this is another thing that happens when you make this. Just gonna take this off of here. See that liquid? You want to get rid of that. So I'm going to come on over here to the sink and get rid of it. And you just kind of want to press into it. As you can see, it releases some more of the water. Okay. Now we're going to take it back over to our blender and give it one more round. All right, I'm going to take this back over to the sink, press out the rest of the liquid, and put it in my little container, which you could freeze it. And if you don't use all of it, I'm going to show you how to apply it, because there is a way to apply it to really get out of it everything that you can get out of it. It's so nourishing to your hair. It's so moisturizing. It's so therapeutic. Guys, it doesn't have the best of smells. It kind of just smells like water. But the longer it sets, it does get another odor to it. Scent. I don't want to call it an odor. It's more of a scent. But like I said, sometimes I put rosemary in it. And if you do something like that, put rosemary or lemongrass or frankincense or myrrh, then you want to just put in literally 1 or 2 very small drops. You don't need a lot, okay? You just don't. This recipe is simple for a reason, and it works. Oh, well, let you see what it looks like now. Oh, yeah. Look at that. It's butter. It's hair butter. Yeah. Very malleable. Melts pretty easy, but not all the way. So it can stick into your hair and stay in there long enough to do its thing. You guys, I'm going to put this in a container and I'm going to show you how to apply it. If you have longer hair, feel free to use the whole carton, the whole pint. And then you're going to want to put 2 tablespoons of olive oil or coconut oil. And you can use 2 drops of any essential oil or extract. Clean this up, and I'm going to show you how to apply it and how long it's supposed to stay on there and how to wash it off properly. Well, here it is the next day. I got a rush of fatigue. That is congestive heart failure. That's what happens with any type of autonomic nervous system disorders like POTS syndrome or vasovagal syncope, maybe even a chronic fatigue syndrome, fibromyalgia, things like that. You get really tired. Sorry about that. I had to turn my refrigerator off. You get really tired. And I'm not just talking about, oh, I need to take a break. No, the day is done. All you can do is read a book, watch TV. You can't cook. All you can do is eat leftovers. So when I do cook, I make sure that there is more than enough. But when you're living with disability, that is how it works. You're prioritizing your care, and self-care gets neglected. But here I have this hair that gets neglected more than anything else. I would say my hair and my feet, actually. That's another issue. We're going to talk about that because I might have found a really good solution. But yeah, we can't have this anymore. Like, it's almost been a month since I put any type of moisturizer in my hair. I have no oil in there. I have nothing. I've done the scoop method, but yeah, guys. So I had this in the refrigerator all night. It is now like almost 2:30 in the afternoon, and I have enough energy to do my hair. I ate a taco. So now I'm gonna just go ahead and we're gonna see. No odor at all. You really don't need any essential oils or extracts or anything like that in here. But I mean, if you want to, go for it. But it's not necessary. I'm going to go ahead and part my hair in the middle here, somewhere in the middle. And I'm going to section this off like that. Very carefully. Very carefully. Just gonna rubber band that part just to kind of get it out of my way. And then I'm going to take this section and turn it into 2 sections. You want to give yourself patience. You want to give yourself time. What I find is people that aren't ill, that have disabilities, mental or physical or spiritual in nature, we see things differently. And we're very empathetic to others' hurts and pains, very receptive of them, and develop empathicness towards them. But then when it comes to yourself, you're hard. You're hard on yourself. There is no patience there. There's a lack of patience, a lack of self-confidence, and a lack of self-empathy. You begin to expect more of yourself, and you compare yourself a little too much. You have to work on it. It's not going to happen overnight, especially if you're living with disability. And let's face it, I mean, most disabilities, there's no cure for. If you're living with a terminal illness, these are the things that you're dealing with. It's not just the depression, it's the root of it. But patience, self-care, if that's all you could do, don't beat yourself over it. Don't beat yourself up over it. Don't beat yourself down over it. You're still enough. All right, let's get started. So I've got this. You have to kind of get enough that it doesn't go, it's not going to melt. If it's melted, you need to put it back in the blender. It didn't get in there long enough. But it is going to start to melt a little bit in your hands. As you can see, it's not as hard. And that's good. That's what you want, so that you can apply it to your hair. And I get it at the top, and then I put it on my ends, and I just kind of smooth it in. I'll get closer so you can see. And a lot of times the argument is you want to do it from tip to root. But I think once you learn your hair more, if you're going the natural route, sometimes you'll need to start from the root. There's a good life lesson there. If you need to start from the root, that's a good thing. Starting from the tip is not always necessary, and it's not always going to be right for you. And sometimes you need to start at the tip. I'm finding that starting from the root really helps my hair. It really helps healing. So you just want to take your time. And I'm going to do, of course, you guys know if you watch my other videos, the praying hands method. And I think I've had such success with my hair growing back, even though it gets so neglected all the time, because I'm gentle and patient with myself. I truly believe that my hair is thriving through all of the neglect. And emotions affect hair growth. It affects how thick your hair is, how thin your hair is, how slow it grows. And then there's medications like metoprolol, blood pressure medications, your statins. They make your hair fall out. The heart medications make your hair fall out. And there are a few other medications used for anxiety and depression and different other mental illnesses that also make your hair fall out. So make you gain weight, make you lose weight, all kinds of stuff. It's an abrupt disruption that is intrusive. So again, patience. Patience is way more than a virtue. It's a spiritual rite of passage. You have to choose to want it. So you just, really be patient and get it in your hair follicles, into the shaft of your hair. I can really see a huge difference already. And this is not a protein treatment, okay? This is a moisturizing treatment. Could it be used as a protein treatment? Yeah, I guess depending on what you could add to it. But you guys know my protein treatment of choice: egg and mayonnaise with a little bit of fenugreek, olive oil, coconut oil, maybe a little honey. And also the Cherry Lola treatment, some yogurt, some Bragg's amino acids, and some baking soda. Really does the job for hydration and protein. As you can see, it's coming back. So we'll just take a little piece out here for reference. Like that. Here's the difference. See, and we're going to leave this in. I'm going to leave it in for quite some time because, like I said, there's serious neglect. Anyway. So I'm just going to go ahead on and do my whole head this way. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and do my whole head just for reference. This is the growth that I got. Now, you guys, if you're following, you can see my other videos. I think we call it neglect sometimes. But as you can see, the neglect actually helped. I think it wasn't neglect. I think my hair took it as I left it alone. I wasn't manipulating it. I remember being little when I was a young girl. My mom would always say, constantly, tell me in the comment box if you're guilty of this. Keep your hands out of your hair. So I did. I kept my hands out of my hair for the first time in my life because I just couldn't do it. I didn't have the energy. As you guys see, this is what I used over my head for a course of a month, from December 25th to January 30th. Tomorrow's my mother's birthday. This is neglect, but it's also growth. It's how you're looking at it. Now, I didn't put anything over my head at night. I didn't cover it. But yeah, the beginning of December, it was towards the end of it. It was more closer to Christmas. I trimmed my hair. Every year at the end of the year, I trim my hair. Get rid of the ends there, the stuff that's hanging on that's preventing my growth. I trim it off, and not just in my hair, in my life, in my house. I clean everything up, and yeah. I think that it really did me justice. So I'm going to go ahead and twist this up really loosely. You don't want to make it tight. Just really loose. It doesn't need to be tight at all. And I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of my hair, and I'll be back. All right, I'm done. See, it's already really starting to heal and put moisture back into a desert dry hair. And I'm going to go ahead and put this up, this little tiny bun on top of my head. Throw a rubber band on top of there. And then I'm going to put this plastic bag over my head. You can use a plastic bag, a plastic cap, a warm towel, and then a bag over it. I just have this cap on. I'm not going to leave it on. I'm going to leave this in my hair for about 40-45 minutes. But I'm not going to leave the cap on the whole time. One, if you guys saw one of my videos, I can't take the elastic. Two, heat is a trigger for vasovagal syncope, and I will pass out. Any type of heart disease, heat can mess you up. So I'm going to be careful and leave this on my head for 15 to 20 minutes. And then I'm going to remove it and just let it set. In the meantime, I'm going to read a book and relax, have some tea, and I'll be back. Then we're going to make something to eat, a vegan meal that will lift your spirits, restore your energy, and not make you weighed down type of full, but energized type of full. It's a healing recipe. So I'm going to share it with you guys because it happens to be one of my favorites. Oh, I almost forgot. This is what I have left. See, it's probably enough for one more, but it's not going to be heavy in my hair. It's going to be a light coating of it. So when you have a little bit to put in your hair, you just put it on your ends. You won't put it in at the top of your hair. You'll put it on your ends and then work it up. But if you have enough, you start with your roots and go to your tips. I'll be back.
So yeah, like I said, you want to make sure you first rinse as much as this DIY product out of your hair before you shampoo it. And while you're doing it, you can see, you can get all of the hair that didn't fall out of your head over the 30 days. It was quite a bit, actually. But I really love all of the Maui products, you guys. This is my favorite, the shea butter. I just go ahead and work it from the root to the tip. And I part my hair in the middle and make sure that all of the shampoo is out. My hair is thoroughly rinsed, hydrated, and I seal that hydration in with some Suave coconut conditioner. Praying hands method makes sure that the shaft of my hair is drinking in that conditioner. This is an important step. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to take a wide tooth comb, not a Denon brush, to detangle where the conditioner is, rinse it out thoroughly, and that's it.
All right, so I am back. My hair is washed. Come up a little closer so you can see. Yeah. So, see the little water beads? That's low porosity hair for you. So I'm just going to take it down, let you see what it looks like with no product in it at all. 30 days. 30 days of no oil, no combing, no brushing. Didn't cover it up at nighttime at all. I can't cover my hair. I can't do it. It's too much. The tightness makes me nauseous. Does anybody else go through that? That's suffering from heart disease or any autonomic disorders. So look at this. Will you just... Hello. Nigerian moisturization works. So I just love knowing what my heritage is, ancestry.com. So it's a thing, if you have any type of disease process or disorder that points to 5 to 7 years or a heart transplant. I mean, after the diagnosis of congestive heart failure, Google tells me some people have lived 20 years after a heart transplant. That's not very promising. I don't particularly listen to those things. I'm too stubborn. I survived the big C. I'm going to survive this too. So this is no product. You guys, what I tell you, what Phoenix say. Bishop Mariam, thank you. Oh, really? You're welcome. So the next thing I'm going to do is surprisingly leave it parted in the middle. And I'm just going to kind of twist this up real quick. Okay, let's twist it up. And I'm going to break this section into 2 sections. I'm going to work in the back. Make sure you clean your clip off. Just set that aside. Next, I'm going to put some of this in my hair, and it's not going to be a lot at all. For this section, that is all that's going in there. Can you see that? Just a little bit. Okay. Start with the ends. I know, like when you're applying the mask on, you're going to start with the roots. If you're going to applying your oil, you're going to start with the ends and work your way up. And get to know your hair. How much do you need? How much can you take? If you have low porosity and you put too much in there, it's going to weigh it down. It's going to thin it out. And you're going to get headaches. And you're going to get this buildup on your hair. It's going to prevent growth. You don't want that. You just don't want it. So I'm actually going to take this section and turn it into another section. Now you can either braid it up or twist it. Again, whichever works best for you, for your hair, for your routine, for your lifestyle. Okay. This is getting in my way. So it's going along with this one. And you just take your time and be gentle. Just gonna take our time. Oh, look at that. Absolutely beautiful. So I'm going to go ahead and braid this section and then braid the other section and keep going with my hair until it is done. This is braid number 1. Real time here. And a lot of times when I get to the end, I just go ahead and twist it. But again, depending on your hair, it might not work good for you. Sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't. So I'm not going to take a chance. I'm just going to braid it all the way down. Boom. Just like that. Okay. If you have temperamental hair, then put a little bit of gel on the ends. I don't think I need it. I'm going to go ahead and keep going. And when I'm done, I will be back. All right. So I have about 8 braids here. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each side. 8 braids. So I'm just going to turn around and let you see the back. See? And I'm just going to take and that is it. Now, I know that I said I was going to make this delicious vegan meal, but I'm going to do that first thing in the morning. So I'll see you then. Good morning. Well, it's time to take this hair down and make something to eat that I can eat on all day. one of my favorite vegan meals. A little bit of olive oil that I'm going to just kind of put a little, just dip my finger in there and do that. And you just need a little bit. Now, you don't have to do this, but I find it makes taking the braid down easier and less manipulation happens to your ends. One braid at a time. Really simple. See, it just makes it so much more easier to remove the braids, I think. When you just put just a little bit of oil, you don't need a lot. I find that people are overdoing it with the oil, and it's just not necessary. Type 4 hair sometimes looks dry, but it's completely hydrated and moisturized. You really got to get to know your hair and love it for what it is instead of trying to change it and make it something different to fit some type of standard. Again, tell yourself something different. So, voila. And this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Come on now. That is it. So I'm just going to continue to take my hair down. And when I'm done, I'll show you the results. Voila. This is my hair. You guys want to see it from behind? So that is that. It feels so good, you know. It really does make you feel better when you get your hair done. No matter how much energy you have, no matter how depressed you are, you're not going to hurt yourself if you push to do that. If it takes you 2 or 3 days to get it done, it takes you 2 or 3 days to get it done. At least you're getting it done. I know the aim and goal is consistency, but you know, when you're living with disability, your consistency is going to look different than the norm. Maybe it's time for you to start educating the people around you about it so that your quality of life could be better. People just don't get it if they're not living that. And that's okay too. But those who truly care for you will try to have compassion and empathy and understanding of what it's like for you. And this world does not make accommodations for people who are living with disability. There is nothing accommodating about this world for anyone who is out of the norm. You think normal is good and it's something to live up to. But in my opinion, normal is the problem. Normal is the one with a disability. So you have to educate them and you have to have patience with them just as much as yourself. It is time to make something to eat. So let's go ahead into the kitchen and get started.
So you want to start off with your sulfur vegetables. That would be your garlic and onion. I have a very large sized garlic because I'm putting it with my carrots and my cabbage. So I want to make sure I have enough. Mince it, put in a bowl, and set it aside. Next, sweet onion. I'm going to cut up about 1/3. And I'm going to half the section. And go ahead and slice them as thin, long ways as, fits your preference. I like them kind of medium and thin. And put it in a bowl, set it aside. I have here some organic carrots. I'm going to chop off the tops and those little bottoms that look like they literally just came from the ground. I'm going to rinse and peel the skin with a serrated knife. And here we are. Aren't they so beautiful and crispy looking? I'm going to put them on a plate and set them aside. Now it is time to remove all of the outside leaves of this head of cabbage. And I'm going to actually cut up the whole cabbage. I'm going to cut it in the middle, take off that hard end, and cut on the both sides of this hard core and then towards the back of it, and it just peels right off. Look at that. I'm going to slice them down long ways, and then on the short side, making them into bite-sized pieces, put them in the bowl and set them aside. About a half a tablespoon to 1 tablespoon of olive oil, rub all over my carrots, and begin to season them. I have here coarse kosher salt, onion powder, granulated garlic powder, black pepper, it's crushed, some dried thyme, cinnamon, and then go ahead and roll that around and evenly distribute all of those spices and ingredients. About a half a cup of water on a foiled pan. I place my carrots on top with fresh thyme, cover, and put in the oven for 375 to 400 degrees, depending on the strength of your oven, for about 15 minutes while we get started with the cabbage. In goes half of those onions. You're actually going to lose more than half. You're going to leave about a third. You're going to let that brown a little bit. Salt and pepper, onion garlic powder, some Italian seasoning, and some smoked paprika. We're going to go ahead and mix that together. Let it cook down a little more, and voila, in goes all of your cabbage. Again, this is a whole head of cabbage. It looks like a lot, but as you can see, as I stirred and mixed all of that together, it started to wilt down. And you go ahead and make sure that your vegetables are floating. I just used the bowl and filled it up twice. I put the top on. And the other third of our onions, we're going to go ahead and chop those up a little more. Take some pecans. Chop those up. I just kind of crumpled them in my hand, put them in the bowl and mix them up with your onions, and add 1 tablespoon of dark grade A maple syrup. Guys, you're going to put in half of your garlic, and you're going to go ahead and put the rest of that garlic in your cabbage. We're going to take our carrots out of the oven. It's been about 15-20 minutes. Look at that. So tender and beautiful. We're going to go ahead and put on your pecans and onions and garlic mixture. Put it in the oven for another 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and it's time to plate. I kid you not. This is fine all by itself. The carrots, the cabbage, the pecans and onions. Absolutely delicious. But if you live in a divided household like me, this is perfect with meatloaf. Now, I have here a vegan meatloaf, which I will show you the recipe on another video. Doesn't this look absolutely delicious?
Time gave me self-love. Self-love gave me a better use of my God-given will. My will helped me to stop fighting. When I stopped fighting, I started trusting in the Most High instead. You can do this. Don't give up.